Let it define your edges and reveal your essence. The very pressure you resist is the pressure designed to reveal your power. When the world pushes you back, push harder. When your plans collapse, build smarter. The test of belief is not in how loudly you declare it when things are easy, but in how firmly you stand when everything shakes. Faith that only functions in fair weather is not faith. It is fantasy. But belief that stands its ground in the storm becomes invincible. George Washington Carver. Born into slavery, orphaned, and denied access to most opportunities, he had every reason to fold. But he did not fold. He focused. He studied the peanut, a simple, overlooked crop, and extracted over 300 inventions from it. Paints, oils, plastics, medicines. Where others saw limitation, he saw innovation. He turned resistance into revelation. His adversity became his advantage. That is how you must begin to view every setback. Not as evidence of failure, but as opportunity in disguise. When pressure comes, let it press you into purpose. When delays appear, let them deepen your discipline. When opposition rises, let it refine your strategy. Each trial becomes your trainer. Each hardship becomes your hammer. And you become forged like steel. Your belief does not become unstoppable because it avoids fire. It becomes unstoppable because it walks through fire and emerges forged. The ones who achieve greatness are not those with easy paths, but those who learned how to turn pressure into progress. They don't just survive, they transform. So the next time you face a wall, don't retreat. Let that obstacle become your exercise. Let resistance become your routine. You are not losing time when you face difficulty. You are building the very traits required for your destiny. Every great structure requires deep foundations, and foundations are built through force. Let every trial remind you of who you are becoming. Let every hardship remind you that belief is not passive. It is active. It is gritty. It is determined. You are not meant to be crushed by life. You are meant to conquer it, but only if you embrace the pressure that molds you. Let every setback become your setup for comeback. Let every valley become your proving ground. And when it is over, let the world see a version of you that could only have been built in the fire, because belief, when tested, becomes truth, and truth, once embodied, becomes power. Practice speaking with the tongue of belief. Your words are not just sounds that pass into the air. They are seeds that shape your reality. Every sentence you speak carries creative power. You are either watering your belief or poisoning it. Every time you open your mouth, you are building the house you will one day live in. This is not exaggeration. It is law. Proverbs 18:21 declares, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." Words don't just describe your life, they design it. Most people speak casually, carelessly. They complain, they self-criticize, they verbalize defeat, and then they wonder why their life mirrors their fear more than their faith. But your speech is a mirror of your mind. What you consistently say reveals what you consistently believe, and what you believe becomes the blueprint of your behavior. So ask yourself, what are you saying? When you speak of your future, do you speak with boldness or with dread? When you describe yourself, do you use the language of strength or self-sabotage? You cannot expect to build a palace with the vocabulary of a prisoner. Your words must match the level of your vision. Speak up, not down. Speak forward, not backward. Clara Barton understood this. Rejected, overlooked, and called unqualified by those in power, she refused to let the world write her identity. She wrote her own. She called herself capable, needed, and prepared long before others recognized it. She used her words as armor, as a weapon, as a foundation, and eventually the world caught up to the reality she had already declared. You must do the same. Begin to speak life into your vision. Say aloud, I am chosen, I am prepared, I am rising. Let these words become your rhythm, your daily declaration. Let them echo in the chambers of your mind until your actions align with your speech, because words do not return empty. They create what they were sent to build. Speak with precision. Speak with purpose. Don't speak based on how things look. Speak based on how you are determined they will be. Say what you want until you see what you say. This is not delusion. It is discipline. It is the ancient art of calling things forth with faith. Just as Romans 4:17 says, God who gives life to the dead and calls those things which do not exist as though they did. This is how belief is reinforced, not just by silent thoughts, but by spoken truth. When you say, I am capable, you are not lying. You are training. When you say, I am qualified, you are not pretending. You are aligning. Words shape identity, and identity shapes destiny. Reject the language of limitation. Cut off the vocabulary of defeat. Remove phrases like, I can't, I never, I'm not good at. Replace them with, I am learning, I am becoming, I am made for this. Speak as though the heavens are listening because they are. Speak as though your words matter because they do. You are not powerless. You are not waiting on the world to give you permission. Your tongue is the pen of your prophecy. What you declare consistently becomes what you experience eventually. So, let today mark a shift from casual speech to creative command, from small talk to spiritual strategy, from reaction to declaration. Because once your words rise, your world cannot stay the same. Speak life, speak strength, speak victory, and keep speaking it until what you say becomes what you see. Set your vision in stone, but your path in sand. There is a difference between the goal and the method. The goal is your North Star. It must be fixed, clear, and unshakable. But the method, the path you take to reach it, must be as flexible as water. Too many people confuse the two. When one plan fails, they abandon the dream. When one door closes, they assume the vision was wrong. But destiny is not a straight line. It is a winding road, and your ability to adapt determines how far you travel. The Israelites had a promised land. That destination was never in question. But the journey, it was filled with deserts, delays, battles, and turns they never expected. They wandered, they adjusted, they grew, and yet the promise never changed. The lesson is this: your method may need to change 100 times, but your goal should remain untouched. If one route closes, find another. If one door locks, knock on the next. If the map tears, draw a new one, but never lose sight of the treasure. Andrew Carnegie is a living testimony to this principle. He did not begin as a titan of industry. He began as a bobbin boy, earning a few dollars a week in a cotton factory, but he didn't let that starting point define his ending. He climbed, he pivoted, he educated himself. He formed strategic alliances. When one opportunity dried up, he found another. He did not treat blocked paths as dead ends. He saw them as invitations to invent a new route. His goal was greatness. His method, constantly evolving. You too must learn to bend without breaking. A tree that refuses to sway in the storm will snap, but a tree that leans with the wind remains rooted. So it is with your purpose. Rigidity in vision is strength. Rigidity in process is folly. The world is constantly shifting. You must shift with it. What worked yesterday may not work today. What was once a strength may now be obsolete. Wisdom is the ability to discern the difference. Never confuse a detour with a dead end. Just because life takes you in a circle doesn't mean you're lost. Sometimes the long way becomes the right way. What matters is not how straight your path is, but how steady your spirit remains. Keep your eye on the mountaintop, even if the trail disappears beneath your feet. Vision will carry you when visibility is gone. Build your plans with determination, but walk with humility. Be prepared to abandon methods, not missions. Be quick to shift tactics, not targets. And above all, be rooted in the why, even as you modify the how. This is the strategy of champions. Clarity of purpose, flexibility of approach. Flexibility is not weakness. It is wisdom with vision. It is strength that knows how to move. The most dangerous thing you can do is cling to a broken plan out of pride. Adjust, rethink, rebuild, not because your goal has failed, but because you are wise enough to evolve with the terrain. So as you pursue your purpose, remember this: the method is the servant, not the master. Let your dream stand like a mountain. Let your method flow like a river. And no matter how often the path twists, never question the destination. Stay fixed in your goal. Stay fluid in your method, and you will arrive stronger, wiser, and exactly where you were always meant to be. 9. Take full ownership of your power to choose. Everything in your life begins with a decision. Not a condition, a decision. Far too many wait for the perfect time, the right mood, or the ideal circumstances to act. But life does not reward hesitation. It rewards clarity. It rewards boldness. Deuteronomy 30:19 issues a divine command. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. This is not a suggestion suggestion, it is a call to power, because choice is the steering wheel of destiny. Where your life goes next is not up to luck, it is up to what you decide now. People do not fail because they lack talent. Most fail because they never truly decided to win. They hovered, they postponed, they gave themselves too many options. And indecision, though it feels safe, is the slowest form of self-destruction. Every dream you delay becomes a seed that never grows. Every excuse you entertain becomes a wall that blocks your future. But the moment you choose, truly choose, everything changes. Your moment of decision is your moment of power. That's when the tides begin to turn. That's when momentum ignites. That's when the universe, circumstances, and people start responding to your internal authority. It is not your resources that make the difference. It is your resolve. The world honors the man or woman who moves with conviction. Harriet Tubman is one of history's clearest examples. She was born into slavery, a condition so brutal it could have paralyzed her spirit, but she chose freedom. And then, with even greater courage, she chose to return again and again to rescue others. She did not wait for permission. She did not wait for laws to change. She moved in spite of the danger. Her decision gave her divine momentum. What she chose became the seed of liberation for generations. You must now do the same. Choose your standard. What will you no longer tolerate? What level of excellence will you now demand of yourself? Choose your direction. Where are you truly going, and what is worth giving your life to? Choose to cut off every excuse, every lie that tells you it's not the right time. Let today be the day you stop waiting and start becoming. When you decide, the world adjusts. Resources that were hidden begin to surface. Opportunities that were locked start to open. Not because the world changed, but because your posture did. You are no longer passive. You are no longer rehearsing what could go wrong. You are acting from a place of certainty, and that certainty carries weight. Understand this. Indecision is the thief of destiny. It steals your momentum. It erodes your confidence. It keeps you walking in circles when you were called to take territory. But decision creates alignment, and alignment creates acceleration. The moment you choose with finality, your energy, habits, relationships, and environment begin to reconfigure around your new direction. Make the choice today, not tomorrow, not when things feel perfect. Now, decide who you are. Decide what you stand for. Decide what you are building, and then act like it. Speak like it. Walk like it. The greatest lives are not born from chance. They are carved from decision. Greatness begins the moment you say, no more waiting. I choose now. That single act of decision holds more power than a lifetime of wishful thinking. Because once you decide, the rest of your life begins to follow suit. So choose. Choose with courage. Choose with fire. Choose life. And never look back. 10. Believe that you are meant to rise. You were not born to crawl. You were born to rise. Within you is more than breath and bones. There is a divine assignment, a call that echoes through every season of your life, waiting for you to answer it. Jeremiah 29:11 proclaims, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." These are not casual words. They are heaven's declaration over your life. You are not a mistake. You are not a product of random events. You are a vessel of purpose, designed with intention and released into this world with significance. The world may have dismissed you. Circumstances may have tried to confine you, but destiny knows your name. Heaven has kept the records, and your time is not coming. Your time is now. Walk like someone who carries destiny in their bones. Let your posture declare that you are here on assignment. Speak like someone who has something sacred to say. Your words should carry the weight of vision, not the fear of rejection. Act like someone whose moment has come, because it has. Helen Keller, though born without sight and sound, refused to accept limitation. She could have stayed hidden in silence, but instead she became a voice for millions. She did not wait for the world to offer her a platform. She created one. She believed her life held meaning, and she fought to express that meaning against every odd. And because she believed, others began to believe too. So must you. Your life is not small. Your vision is not invalid. You do not need anyone's permission to rise. What lives inside of you is sacred. You must protect it, nurture it, release it. Your journey, with all its detours and delays, has prepared you for this moment. Nothing has been wasted. You must believe this. Your time is now.